So let's complete the part to upload finally this asset to the IPFS. And we start with this portion, which is handle and submit, because this is once you hit this button that you can upload the assets to IPFS. We're going to pin it to IPFS. And this is another listener that we pass as a prop to the form. So let's check this out so you can understand how this works here. So we've got this form and we have an unsubmit listener. So once we hit this this button, we don't want the page to refresh. So that's why we're gonna do as usual, which is to write prevent default. And this is to prevent the natural regular behavior of the browser, which is to refresh every time that you submit a form. And then we're gonna do a check, which is to check if we actually have a name and also a file that exists. And this is inside that we're gonna do the action of uploading the file to IPFS. So to do that, first we must import this function, okay, so that we have set up. So of course here this config doesn't match what we need, so we're gonna write a new one, a new config, and I'm gonna write this for pin file. And this will be a post method. And let's find out what is the correct URL to make the correct transaction. So the API is explaining you everything. So the Pinata options to pin file or directory, we replace with this one. And there are a few things we're going to change also here. So for example, we've been using this bearer, but just for the sake of the example, I'm going to show you as well how you can authenticate also with Pinata API key, in Pinata secret API key as well. So I'm going to refer this time to this, and I'll provide with the final code of this as well, don't you worry. So we're taking this variable, and also we specify the same for the secret API key. That's another way to authenticate with the Pinata API. And here you just need to specify this key, which is the secret. Actually, I think I did reverse. My bad. So that's going to be first. Let's go back. So that's going to be here, this first one, which is the API key, and then second, the secret API key. Okay, so let's change the configuration here. So you must make a request. Let's change that to actually, we're going to change to Axios pin file, and I don't want to do an async await here, so I just want to make it more simple, and it's going to be a callback. So whichever response we get back, we're going to return in the callback function, and we're going to also console log the error if there's any. That's it. And you must also, you know, here like put all of this information for the your data, your file. Next, we update inside the components, the root components. We make sure that we import from this IPFS module, and this function is to upload to the IPFS. So very simple, we just need to pass one single parameter, which is value, and we get in the callback the response data. Let's try this. Now let's make a test. We're going to upload a new token. We're going to upload right here, and let's see what happens in the network tab. Actually, let's try that again. And invalid request formats. Let's go back to our where we configure the request, and there is one thing we are missing, and it's obviously the data. The data that you need to pass along with, there is this data, you append the file and everything, so that must actually be passed here to be sent along with the post to upload the asset, the data to IPFS. So let's change this. Line 26, I'm going to add the data, this key that must be visible here to send this post request. So let's try that again. and create, and that should go through just fine. I think it went through, but I cannot see. Let's check in the console if we could print. Okay, here we go. So that's the information that I wanted to show you. So now we've got this IPFS hash. Okay, so that's actually the ID that corresponds to the new asset we have just uploaded. What's left to do is to get this URL. This is the actual base URL for every content assets and media that you upload to the IPFS, followed by this specific ID. So let's copy that. And let's go back to the model. And we're going to combine the two. This is response, and we're just going to replace with response, and what we have is response IPFS hash. IPFS hash. And I must also specify data in the middle. So I put the base URL, the data, and the IPFS hash, and I should get the URL that then sends me, redirects me to the asset I just uploaded to IPFS. So let's try that. So let's try that again. Let's see what's printed. Okay, let's try that. And here you go. So we've got our assets, which was successfully pinned and uploaded to IPFS thanks to this public Pinata gateway. And we can retrieve this one successfully. So now we're going to be able to use this to mint, create a new token. So that's going to be the next part. So now that we can successfully upload to the IPFS, let's move on to mint the NFT.